Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing Live, December 10th. I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
And joining us, we have our resident alien theorist theorizing historian correspondent, Bandito Frito. I think that works, Dan, right?
Yeah. Hello.
That works. That's
yeah,
fine.
That works.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows more about the podcast than Bandito.
She knows more than all of us combined.
Yes, I think so.
Mm.
So we got a little weekly roundup. We just did Bandito. We did the Exeter Incident 303. Did you listen to that one yet?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Yes, I did. So it had the red lights, right?
Yeah.
And on Cosmic Channel, someone called in about the lights that they saw, and it got me thinking that, you know how, like, I think you mentioned that red light that we use is to help preserve our, like, night vision.
Yeah.
What if it's the same kind of thing for them? What if they're using these different colored lights because that's what, light spectrum that they see best in? The red is actually a white light for them, and so they can see everything when there's red lights. Or they're using blue lights because it helps.
Oh, I didn't think of it like that. Like that's their flashlights. We're like, what are these shining these color lights? But really,
Yeah,
I don't know if that checks out with science.
Oh God, that's a horrible light.
But that would make sense, like with rods and cones. Like I don't know, maybe.
Well, how do we know they're seeing with rods and cones like we do?
I have no idea.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why it could totally make sense, because why not? That would make sense. But why the pattern, right? Why the pattern to the lights?
Because they see in patterns.
Maybe it's some sort of like SOS. No, what's the actual word for it?
Morse code.
Morse code type of thing. Maybe they were communicating with other people, or maybe that's how they think we communicate because they heard, some SOS or Morse code signal from the past get translated out or something.
Sure, it could be some kind of close encounters of the third kind deal.
Yeah, it's a super interesting. My favorite part about that case file, which if you're listening to this, came out 2 days ago, is just the fact there's not a lot of times where you see a lot of effort from the officials to disprove it and fail miserably at disproving it, and then continue on, because normally they just stick to their guns. They're like, hey, listen, you guys all got confused by the stars and Venus, and that's it. And no matter what anyone says, they never move off that position. And in this one, they seemingly moved off of every position, and they're like, actually, you know what? It was this. And then at every turn, they're kind of thwarted, which I thought was my favorite part. I was like, I've never seen a case where the authorities went through so many failed attempts to disprove what happened. It just lends so much credibility to me that there was, in fact, something they saw that night.
And you know that they were struggling to come up with different stories. They're like, oh, crap, what can we say next?
Yeah.
Is it this? No, wait, let's go with this story. Wait, no, this story. Wait.
The fact that they gathered people in a field and was like, we're going to turn on the lights so you can see. And then they turned on the lights and no one could see the lights. Was that's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard. I would have hated to been that guy.
First,
yeah, you 100%.
Give it a test run.
I can't you would have thought someone would have been the night before in the field, I see him. We're good. This is gonna work out as our explanation. No, it was one of the better ones in recent memory where I was like, oh, that's
it's because we don't. Because we don't talk about aliens anymore.
Yeah, we're more on the marquee. What are they called? MLMs now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, reverse funnel.
Reverse funnel and MLMs.
Boys, we're talking about some aliens tomorrow too.
Yeah, pyramid schemes. What?
Little fucking Jerry Springer stuff going on too. It's crazy. It's got it all.
With the Brooklyn, tomorrow we're talking. Monday we're recording live. The Brooklyn UFO
kidnapping,
it's wild. Dude. It's a little everything.
Wild.
Whoever, I wish I remember that guy's name who said we never talk about aliens. There's 2 in a row for you. Suck it. Just kidding. He's probably left our Patreon now. No, that was cool. The other big news that I want to talk to everyone about is obviously the return of the king. Alex Jones back on Twitter. Finally.
Turn of the Mac.
Yeah. I think he was reinstated today.
Based off a poll.
Based off a poll
that
But to the people, Dan.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because we live in a democracy.
Yeah,
and
I voted
so
for
yeah,
him.
you and 7 million other people voted for him apparently. And
how many people voted against him?
They said it was about 70% people voted yes to put him back on. I don't think they've made an official statement as to whether he's bringing back the InfoWars Twitter X whatever. But yeah, like Jones is coming back. I don't think he's posted as of, I don't know, a couple hours ago. Has he posted anything original yet? He just reposted.
No, he's just been reposting stuff. He hasn't started talking about how the frogs are.
It's probably a surprise to him too. Like he probably didn't even know.
He's got
to rev up the conspiracy.
He has no idea. He's just been trying to tweet this entire time.
No, it's
so it starts going through.
He's like, "What do you mean I've been banned? What?" Just been typing into this phone. You know what? It's probably like us where he can't like get past the authentication anymore. It probably goes like, to like log in, like send the code you get from this 3-digit number from your phone. He's like, God damn it, I got banned a decade ago.
He's probably trying to get a hold of his lawyers right now and be like, what can I tweet that won't interfere with my fucking lawsuit, my like 100 lawsuits that I have running right now?
Well, he did sit down with an interview with Musk, and I listened to portions of it because he was on his best behavior, and I don't like him on his best behavior. I don't think I listen to Alex Jones because I think he's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Alex Jones
unhinged, completely unhinged,
hacking at drones with a broadsword.
Yeah,
eating his neighbor's babies.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
Choke me, Eddie!
Just absolutely shaking. It looks like his arteries he's like beet red.
Tomato red.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just absolutely fuming. Like that's what I sign up
Alex.
for. That's our Alex. Pig babies, Joe. That's the joke. Like hear him talk and be a reasonable person, and he's like, I'm like, ban him.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that stuff.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, I don't think like unless you're. It's a slippery slope to just ban people. I mean, there's certain people maybe, but like, there's worse stuff on X than Alex Jones. I mean,
yeah, but not with as many followers as reaches him. So I don't know if it depends on whatever. I mean, violated terms and conditions. Like it's a private platform, they can do whatever they want. Like you could say freedom of speech, but it's a private platform at the end, and it can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Because
otherwise, if you have them step in, that's a slippery slope, dude. When do you tell private corporations that they can't do what they want to do? I mean,
like that's their new fucking whole ad campaign though. It'd be like, we might not have Disney. We got some.
We got InfoWars.
We got InfoWars, boys.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Bob Iger.
Yeah. Bob Iger's out there making frogs gay.
Could you imagine that's just his whole. That was the whole deal. Like you can come back, but you got to direct everything towards Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Everything.
Not Disney, just Bob Iger.
Yeah, just straight to flame on Bob Iger. Just ready to go.
Remember those pig babies, Joe? Bob Iger's one of them.
I'm really not sure he can post a lot of stuff because it's like he's already owes 1.5 billion or 1.5 million or no.
Not billion.
What he's in the hole for.
Yeah, he owes I mean, he probably has LLCs. All his companies are broke.
What if they bring him back just
They're
to
going
review,
after it.
What if they bring him back just to review Disney movies? Like let's get Alex Jones reviewing the Marvels.
Oh, dude, that'd be great. I mean, I'm all for it.
No, he does. No, it's 1.5 billion in damages. 1.5
with a B.
Crazy.
That's
With
insane.
You're gonna have to sell a lot of dick pills to get that money back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
A lot of gold coins.
If you want to help Alex Jones pay off his lawsuits, I'm sure he has
Buckets
some
of food that also work as toilets. Yeah.
It's gonna be it'll be interesting to. That sucks, man. Imagine someone sued Big Theory for $1.5 billion. We'd be ruined. Someone sued us for $1,500. We'd be ruined.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Your minimum Patreon would be $5 million a piece.
Yeah. That'd be our lawsuit tier.
Well, no, we got infinite money now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Without
How are you gonna
recourse.
sue us?
The other thing that I had Andrew kind of turned me on is, remember that? Did we talk about the house that blew up in Virginia?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, in Arlington.
Bandito, did you see that?
Did you get down that fucking rabbit hole?
Yeah, I kind of
No.
went on it.
Hop on down it.
I saw some of the stuff that linked that like unhinged LinkedIn that people found out about that guy.
Well,
that is a bizarre thing to find.
Well,
It's a bizarre read on some of the
boys.
stuff. I didn't read all of it, but I just read some of the stuff, and it's like the guy thought his neighbors were going to, or he believed that his neighbors were going to kill him because it was the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, like something.
Oh,
along
Dan,
those lines.
Dan,
There's
you're
so
only
much.
scratching the surface of like
Yeah.
where that rabbit hole goes. If you dig deep enough on that Arlington explosion, it comes down to basically a world, like a global connected private spy agency is currently seeing all of their assets killed off one by one is basically what we're seeing. And that's what this was a hit on one of their assets. And you're
It
like,
just blew up that whole house.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
they want to
dude,
It's a
incinerate.
very
Yeah.
Send a
covert way
message.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very covert way to do that.
yeah. They're like, no. Forget espionage now. We're going in, blow up the
blowing
whole
that entire
neighborhood.
house.
Yeah. It goes wild. Like if you go on, I mean, there's some crazy threads down there that you can pull it, go all over, talk about a cabal of like a spy agency cabal.
And his like neighbors were in, like, are his neighbors like surveilling him, as he was saying? Oh man, I've read some of it and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, his parents were fucking spies too. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking deep, man. Oh,
Dude, he's like
Got real
Peter
wild.
He's like Peter Parker, man.
yeah,
Had no
shit.
idea, right? Kingpin's after him. Bandito, you're on here. You said you had something for us.
Yeah.
What'd you bring today?
So I probably, like other people, listen to other podcasts. However, you guys are my favorite, and you're the only
How
ones that
dare
I
you.
pay to enjoy and interact with. So I was listening to another one, and they did this kind of short thing on the Kozyrev mirrors. Have you guys ever heard of those?
Kozyrev mirrors?
Yeah, Kozyerev. It's a Russian thing.
Communist mirrors? What?
Yes, no. It basically, it's a kind of a cool story, but it's these mirrors that this Russian made after being in a gulag for 10 years, completely isolated. He came up with this theory of like whatever, not particle theory, but something like that. Anyways, it's these sheets of aluminum that you make into these tubes. And then when you go inside of them, you're supposed to be able to time travel and experience all time at once. And when they were testing these, they would see the town that they were in Russia, saw UFOs all over their town. That 7 different times they saw 7 different UFOs. So it's a story that includes,
I mean,
time
that
travel,
guy. I mean, that
aliens,
guy
like
looks.
everything.
Hopping
Yeah.
in a hot water
looks
tank.
like something it looks like something I find in a fun house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's supposed to be really easily made, and I was thinking you guys should do like maybe like look into it a little bit. This is kind of just a
I
kind of a
just
brief
go. I can go
overview.
to a small town carnival to get that.
Pretty sure the
You
same
you
thing
can
happens
make one
to me.
yourself, and then you can experience time travel, and
Well, I'm pretty sure the
I
same thing
experience
happens
time
to me
travel every day
Somewhere.
after I take a nap.
when I'm in the fucking bathroom and you fold the 2 mirrors on the sides.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
the one in the middle,
Yeah.
and you like look down. And
Yeah.
you can see about 60,000 of you. It fucking takes me to a whole different dimension.
infinite numbers of you. Yeah,
So
but
this
it's
is
an interesting story. It's he never got to test it himself. Like I said, he was locked in a gulag for 10 years and came up with this theory on time travel and all this, and then Russia gave money to these scientists to actually do it after he died, and there's nothing really out there about it. It's like it was not popular when it first happened, but there was some stuff on like Russian state-run media, a movie about it or like a documentary, and there's a few things that I found on YouTube about it and some stories, but I mean it's not super well known.
I wonder if it's like one of
You
those
guys
things where
know
it's like
that?
if you think of like almost like a reverse sensory deprivation tank where you're just like because if you're in a sensory deprivation tank, you lay there, you kind of like lose sense of yourself. When you're floating in the dark and the water's the same, you kind of lose sense of your body. And I've actually in the tank have felt like I've started to spin uncontrollably and like picked up, and I've had to like stick my finger out and touch the wall just to kind of center myself. And you're like, that's your mind just kind of like going. And I wonder if this thing's like the reverse. You're just like, it's just so much mirrored image. You're like, it's what's sensory amplification tank, basically. You're just like, ah!
Well,
I feel like you just put on kaleidoscope goggles and just kind of it's the same effects.
They put the symbol of peace or the peace flag or whatever that is into it, and then after that's when they started seeing the aliens or the UFOs, not aliens specifically, but UFOs. So I don't know. It's an interesting story. Now, is it true or not? Russia says it is.
Well, maybe it's like maybe it's one of those ones where it's like maybe this is some sort of technology that we don't understand. We kind of talked about we've talked about before where like the detonation of the atomic bomb, maybe that was something that, alerted extraterrestrials, and we kind of saw like big flaps around that time of when we were really experimenting with nuclear technology. Well, maybe something like this is like another one. They're like, oh, these motherfuckers have figured out mirrors. the old coily mirror.
It's not like we haven't been doing it for hundreds of years.
No, the coily mirror, the electric coily mirror. I'm looking at
it's the electric coily mirror.
It's actually it's a patent. They have a Russian patent, RU21224466, device for the correction of man's psychosomatic diseases.
Sure.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a medical thing.
Yeah.
He was developing it initially as a medical thing. It's supposed to heal you of medical problems and anxieties and all of that, but
I could
they
just go
said
to
when
the
they first
Bosnian
started it,
Pyramids.
turned it off.
Not if you're claustrophobic.
Yeah, you've just been. It's weird and interesting. The fact that they see once they kind of ran it, then they're seeing UFOs. I'm like, maybe there's something to it that we don't know, right? Like maybe it's one of those things where I think we're gonna have to try it. You're not wrong. It looks very easy to build. Just looks quite easy. Not a lot of.
Get some tin.
What if it's like fucking Stranger Things though? Like that fucking tank that little girl goes in, and the next thing you know, got fucking mind flayers running around.
Oh yeah,
be careful with this shit.
We're in the upside down.
Maybe it's gonna open the door to these aliens coming here. It's not worth it. Let me have my fucking paranoid schizophrenia, okay? I don't want fucking aliens here.
Interesting. That's a pretty wild one. Now I want to look into one. I want to watch it.
It's a fun photo though.
Yeah. Well, the guy looks hilarious. Looks like he's ready for Tron, all hooked up to wires. He's like, I'm ready for time.
Ready to time travel.
Take me.
Astrophysicist. That's the word I was thinking of. He turned into a theoretical astrophysicist because he was locked away in the gulag for 10 years, completely alone, and he couldn't do anything other than just think. So he came up with this.
Aaron in the chat saying he believes that mirrors are portals to different dimensions. So maybe this is maybe that is some way to unlock it. I don't know. Maybe. Interesting.
Why not?
Gotta curve the mirror, I guess. And then, then you can have the reflection that waves back.
Well, I always thought, I remember seeing this thing where it was this person was writing, they were talking to their dad who's a physicist, and they're like, what if you had a box of mirrors and it was just all mirrors? What does it look like inside? And then the guy's like, what's the reflection of? And he's like, damn it. It was puzzling. He was like, if that's stupid. And then he's thinking about it and he's like, I have no idea. And then he started to build this mirror box to try to figure out what it would look like because there's nothing in there to reflect. And then he dropped the camera in the box, and it's one of the trippiest things you've ever seen in your entire life.
That's called a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
But I used to buy those things at the little natural wonder stores. The little window.
Dad's on his bed experiencing time.
Yeah, I've been experiencing time travel since I was 12, going into the mall and just being like, yeah.
Interesting. Who knows?
I actually, you know what? It's kind of funny. It's I think one of my friends recently was talking about how his kids had just gotten a kaleidoscope, and she's one or two or something, and it's funny to watch little kids interact with these things. They're like, what is this? What is the sorcery? You know, oh God! Like I've seen
devil's magic,
right? You know, they're in the putting it in the thing, and they're just like tripping balls out on that thing, and you're just like, yeah, you've never seen anything like this. You don't understand what's going on. You know, and I forgot what she called it, like something like it's not kaleidoscope because they can't say kaleidoscope. It's just they come up with some word for it to refer to that thing. But it's just like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to have.
I'd go in one. If there was one in the town, they're like, you can sit in this, we'll charge it up. I'd be like, I'll experience all time.
Local sheet, go to your local sheet metal dealer. And
roll yourself up.
Junkyard.
Roll yourself up in the. Well, there's obviously some sort of conductor to it,
your
too.
local aluminum siding guy, and be like, hey, can you just roll this out for me?
Yeah, I have a feeling that if I did this in my backyard, you're gonna read an article about man cooks himself alive, slow cooks himself in aluminum foil.
Don't do it in summer.
Yeah, failed.
This time of year you'll be okay.
Yeah.
No, Braden will get stuck in it. How do I get out?
Oh yeah. Dan, what'd you have for us tonight?
What did I have for it? Just some other things going on. It's just what is it? I am living in constant fear of the impending wild hog invasion from Canada, the northern Canadian hog massacre that is coming, because apparently we've talked about it before. The super pigs, we've talked about them. They're essentially, these things are essentially cryptids because they're
bebops.
Yeah, they're these like mutant hogs that are just like running rampant all over. What is it? Parts of like right above like Minnesota, North Dakota, and Montana, like sitting on that border. And apparently, it's enough consideration that these states are like devoting a not insignificant amount of resources to try and stop these pigs from coming across.
Dude, the craziest thing to me is that I thought the pig invasion was like the pig issue was a U.S. thing, because we literally get no pig news up north here. None. They're
covering it up, man.
Covering it up. We hear nothing about these pigs. Nothing. Like for how
Yeah,
much
they're
of a
just
He's a
problem?
pig sympathizer, man.
Yeah. Just trying to blame us.
It's bizarre. Like I wasn't aware that pigs are actually like, they are not native to North America. Like they are an invasive species.
Yeah, they
brought over from Europe,
dude.
And it's
I like people like videos, because we must have looked up like super pigs or typed it in or something. So like every now and then pig stuff will pop up on our algorithm on social medias, and it looks like Iraq like marine footage when these people are hunting these things. It's like
it's crazy
at dark, and they've got like heavy machine guns. They're like, contact. They just hit the lights, and there's just hundreds of pigs, and they just start start mowing down out of a helicopter. You're like, what is going on here? Like, this is wild.
They've been doing that in Texas for a while, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's insane because, okay, so a sow, like a female pig, can have like 6 piglets in a litter, right? And then they can raise up to 2 litters a year. So they're saying that even if you killed like 65% or more of the pig population, like you could kill that much a year, and they would still increase their population
every year.
So, and they're saying that
what you're saying is the tipping point is we got to kill 66% or more.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're saying that hunting these things makes it even worse, because the success rate for hunters is normally between like 2% and 3%. And they're saying that one just makes them like the ones that you do kill, it just makes them smarter. The ones that you do kill are the dumb ones.
I'll tell you this.
So
The videos I've seen, they're doing better than 2 or 3%. They're like, holy, these guys are like have heavy machine guns.
Yeah, that's in Texas, bro. They got machine guns. We don't have that here.
Yeah, here they're probably...
Aren't they learning, though, the ones that you don't kill, they're going back to their packs, and they're, like, learning the routes that the hunters
they're smart. So they learn to avoid those areas. They learn to, like, the ones that you don't kill.
Pigs are some of the smartest animals. I mean,
they're
like
Saiyans.
smart.
Like, the more battles they get in, their power levels go up.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy to me because I'm like, I feel like, for as big of an issue it is as you read and you see these videos, and it's like they're coming from Canada. I'm like, where like, is Manitoba and Saskatchewan just fucking overrun with these things and we don't even know? Like, do we have a sleeper cell pig invasion in the middle of Canada that no one's talking about? Like, is that big of it? Like, What's going on here?
Well, the crazy thing to me, it's like, this is something that not only is it something that's edible, but it's like a staple of most diets. Like pork is something that everybody eats on a regular basis. What are we doing here, boys? Let's get a fucking team together.
Yeah,
right. Like this, we could feed all of Canada and fix a fucking problem. Like, what are we doing?
How come bacon's so expensive, Dan?
Yeah.
You're telling me we got an invasion. We're mowing these things down. How come I'm still paying over $10 for a pack of bacon? That's crazy.
It's because they're covering it. Yeah, they're keeping it from you guys.
When these things start to crest the Rocky Mountains, then and swim across the Georgia Strait,
we're gonna be in
to
trouble.
Vancouver Island, then I'll be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, they can swim. Pigs are good swimmers.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
There's some narrows that they could cross for sure.
But you know what? Maybe that's low key why we're just letting the fucking grizzlies go. We're not hunting grizzlies anymore.
Oh, we're preparing. We're building the West up. We're building the Western resistance.
Your bear army.
Yeah.
Dude, well, we talked about how like literally after we said like, oh, prepare for news of someone getting mauled by a grizzly, like a tree planter got mauled by a grizzly. Like these things are fucking mean, and they breed like crazy, and they're giant killing machines. Yeah. They're savages.
You're setting them up for the bears. Yeah, or for the boars.
The Battle of the Rockies.
Fuck yeah, we're ready.
Super pigs versus grizzly bears. Oh boy, I'm on it.
I'll take grizzly bears all day.
Oh yeah, dude. Why? How many pigs are there though? They got like
there's a lot of pigs.
Yeah, a bear could get overwhelmed by the pigs though. I think.
There's a lot of pigs.
I don't know how many though.
Those things are mean.
Yeah, and they got those tusks, man. They got the little tusks.
Doesn't matter. I've grizzlies taken out 10. Easy.
Yeah, the grizzlies. I mean, the grizzlies messing them up with dogs.
But a grizzly's like what? They have like maybe 2 cubs, usually 1, but like maybe 2.
They usually have 2, and maybe 1 survives if they're lucky.
Yeah, and that's like what per year.
Yeah,
and then
but you got to remember
12 boars.
Yeah, but we're also helping the grizzlies by open season on the pigs.
It's true. I mean, you thin them out a little bit. You could be riding on the back of bears, just like charging into hordes of boars.
This isn't Russia, Dan.
The nomadic Yeti says another cover up by Big Pig. Yeah. He's like, these things are basically Pigfoot.
That's good.
That's good. That's
good. When I was looking for that story, there was another one that said like some guys had like caught a pig, like a pig that had been on had been missing, or like it had gotten loose at some point. I forgot what state it was in. They called it. They're like, authorities capture pig that's been missing for 2 months, named Albert Einstein. I was like, that's pretty good.
We got a question from the chat. Jacob Wilkinson asks, "What do you guys think about the Men in Black? Do you think they're real?" Yeah, I mean, I think
4 movies about them.
Yeah. What are you talking about? 100%. I think
Men in Black right now. He's a Man in Black.
4.
Well, I think
there's 4 fucking Men in Black movies.
Yeah. There's Men in Black the original, Men in Black 2,
International, right?
Men in Black 3, and then Men in Black International. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 4 Men in Black.
Yeah. No, I definitely think they're real. I mean, it's probably some sort of 3-letter agency most of the time, or some like subsidiary of a 3-letter agency where they're like, hey, like, we need to go investigate these things, or they're, trying to cover, like, I would always point the finger at the CIA just from all the shady shit they've done, where it's like they go to a house and like, especially if someone saw some like, undercover, tech that they weren't supposed to be like, what you think you saw, you did not see, all right, like take some statements, shake them down a little bit. Like to me, that has CIA kind of written all over it. But what do you guys think? MIB real?
It probably doesn't help things. Probably muddies the water a bit that it's pretty simple to kind of pose as the Men in Black, like a G-Man, like back then. You could really just flash an ID like Supernatural style, just like know, and people would be like, "Oh, okay, don't talk about this to anybody."
Black Ray-Bans on.
Yeah, just because you want the exclusive on the story or something like that, or you just don't want to tell the people who you are. Like you just go in there and it could possibly be that. So
they aren't on. They aren't on any government list. They straight don't exist.
But maybe they're like, remember when they were first being described, like they were wearing the weird clothes, they had like lipstick, all that type of stuff, like looked like they were wearing costumes. Like maybe they were aliens themselves, right?
Like maybe those originals.
Maybe they never worked.
Wow.
Maybe they never worked for the government. Maybe they were literally their job were plants here from whatever alien species to cover their fucking tracks. right? Like their damage control of whatever, oh, these people have had an encounter, we got to cover it up.
I definitely think some of the early stories that we've heard of Men in Black, they are like, you almost get a description of like that uncanny valley. You're like, these guys are fucking
careful with the descriptions.
Yeah.
This one needs to touch you on. Fucking touch you on.
Pale, right?
Yeah.
No names, no fingerprints.
I mean, yeah, I could be the dudes from Fringe or whatever, like the little bald guys walking around from a different dimension. I don't know. Like it could just be like this. It could just be dudes like. It could be intergalactic police. Could be just like dudes coming down here looking for a certain extraterrestrial. Like, hey, you saw something? Like, hello, human.
I mean,
I am also a fellow human.
And we definitely know there's been agencies that have been dissolved and stuff that were like looking into these things. So like to say that some of these encounters were possibly from these agencies. I mean, I definitely think the Men in Black, because the Men in Black, I don't think the Men in Black. Hold on, let me clarify the question. I don't think there's a secret branch of the United States government called the MIB where they have some sort of underground lair where they like are
where they dance,
where they dance and they got little worms running around.
Cadillacs,
but I definitely think there's probably like these people who have gone and visited contactees to try to shake them down or give them false information. So in that sense, I do think they exist. Were they all from the same agency? Likely not. There's probably been different forms of different agencies. That's kind of my thoughts on that. But we got a nice little tip from that white GTI. Thank you. He said, "Grab some beer on me, lads." No problem. We will do just that.
Thanks, buddy.
So yeah, Bandito, what are your thoughts? Men in Black.
Have they been seen recently is the question for me. Because I would say more now, if they're not Men in Black, they're going to be more of like a Mulder Scully kind of thing where they're just like regular looking people going out trying to investigate or get information. Because it would make more sense to have them at this point blend in and try to like spread that disinformation, or hey, you didn't really see this, or hey, that couldn't have been what it was. Because everybody knows the Men in Black, and so why would you continue with the same look if you don't want to propagate it, right?
Well, it's like they don't even have to go out there anymore. They can just sit on the internet anonymously.
Yeah, it's true, and then sow the seeds of doubt.
It's
all the Men in Black are behind keyboards now.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense to me.
Who says you're not one or I'm not one?
Oh. Whoa, cut her off. She's getting too close to the truth here.
Yeah.
No, that's an interesting thought because I'm trying to think of recent ones where like people have kind of described Men in Black, but it's like, to be honest, the term Men in Black, it's just a term used for like people we didn't know coming around and asking questions. Like that's realistically like what a lot of the descriptions of the Men in Black is just people who we didn't know who they were or who they worked for asking questions, and they're like Men in Black. And so it's like, maybe it's just a newspaper people coming around. Like, so a lot of it's very like there's a huge gray area for what would you could count as Men in Black. So it's anytime anyone sees anything in town, I dress up and I go ask questions. Anytime.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's your duty to create some mystery in the world, and you should go out and be that mystery.
I'm not even sure like which agency would wear like black suits. Like you would really just wear like a nice like brown suit or something like that.
Well, I don't think there's a requirement on the suit color.
Yeah,
who's walking around
black is the color to wear.
Who's walking around wearing a brown suit in 2023?
That's like not
God.
2023. I'm talking back then. Like
powder blue.
Blue.
Blue. I can see blue with some brown shoes, brown belt.
Why you gonna wear black? Like if you're investigating something in like the Nevada desert, you don't want to wear black. It's gonna be hot as fuck. You just be like wear something nice.
You're not wearing a fucking tan
but
suit.
you would look professional.
Yeah.
You can wear a powder blue suit. I'm saying
powder blue. Yeah, powder blue.
in the middle of the desert or whatever.
Yeah.
do you mean?
You're investigating in summertime. Like it's got to be like a summer outfit. I'm sure.
I am Groot saying in the chat. Maybe
you just say
maybe
blue.
corduroy,
You
full
just-
corduroy
It's
suit.
MIB.
You just walk around.
It's MIB. They could be men in blue. They could be men in black, and it's just like so. It just like
Yeah.
oh
So
yeah,
the
but you
Canadian
can't. We can't be
version
MIT.
the full jean suit.
Oh
is
yeah,
the
yeah,
Canadian version?
full denim. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Full
you guys
denim?
have the men
Full-
in blue
yeah.
jeans.
yeah. The men in
Canadian
it's,
version.
no,
Yeah.
it's the MID,
Jean.
men in denim.
Wow.
A minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Peter Cross is saying, yeah, freelance men in black on your spare time. Yeah, I encourage everyone to moonlight as a men in black on your
There's
spare
nothing
time.
wrong with asking questions,
No, nothing.
right?
And when people ask ID, you should get cagey and jumpy and leave immediately,
Yeah.
right?
You should bring briefcases full of random photos of UFOs and leave it on their table for them for people to stumble upon.
Pull a quarter from your ear, make a coin disappear. You
Yeah.
know?
Have a set of handcuffs that you handcuff the briefcase to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then leave it there as you go to the bathroom.
You say,
Leave it on the
"Can I
table.
take this off? It's really uncomfortable." And then you crack it open before you go. No password on the briefcase.
Don't look in here, and just like go unlatch it and like leave. Don't look in there. Just like walk out of the room.
Dan, I saw something you had something about the Disneyland streaker.
Yeah. So apparently, okay.
Well, I
so,
saw the video.
yeah.
I saw a
You
guy.
saw the video.
Yeah, a guy streaked in Disneyland, and he got like, as you can imagine, they're like, no one dies in
bring 'em-
Disney.
They bring him to the downstairs, like the part you don't see, the underground.
Yeah,
That's what the whole thing is. And so apparently some stuff's kind of either been circulating among the conspiracy circles that people were talking about connecting this guy to like the underground tunnels of Disney World, which are an actual thing. Like
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah,
World does.
Disney World, or is not Disneyland.
And Disney, like these places, like they do have a vast network of underground tunnels, so people can move from place to place. And they say, it's mostly so to make the scene better. You don't have like people moving from place to place.
All
You
the
can
garbage and shit goes underneath. Buddy,
all
you
the
gotta do is
garbage,
watch
but the
Beverly Hills
characters
Cop
too.
3.
For like the characters can like
Beverly Hills Cop 3
disappear or
gives you the
whatever.
whole inside look at it.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Any of the, like the theme parks and stuff like usually have those kinds of underground networks, but they're saying that this guy, they're saying that there's there was like some type of like kidnapping allegations that started around like mid-November, and then they had these like there was like a deep fake video of a podcaster, and you might be familiar with him. His name's Joe Rogan, carrying in a bathroom by herself, and then she ended up like climbing down a secret staircase like with an unknown adult male, just kind of real generalized and stuff like that. But they said like this deep fake by Joe Rogan got circulated like quite like it would, and then a lot of people kind of started going off on that, asking a whole bunch of crazy stuff about all these things. And like Disney was like, I think they had to respond and be like, yeah, no, we have tunnels, but none of that's ever happened.
No,
Like,
whenever we have kids come down there, we just feed them to the alligators. Fucking
Yeah.
problem solved. Fucking gonzo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we put them
So
in.
it's
Then we put their corpses in part of the. It's always what's that ride?
did
where it's
some
like,
kid
Small
get
world
attacked?
Small
after
world
Small
after
Did
all.
some
Yeah,
kid
it's
get?
a
Did some
small
kid
world,
get
yeah.
attacked by an alligator?
Died.
In
Yeah,
Disney
in
World?
front of
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
family.
there was one in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean display, right? Or was it Treasure Island?
And it killed a kid.
No, I heard it. I
It
thought it
was
was
the
at like a
old school Treasure
Disneyland
Island
resort
one,
or
wasn't
something
it?
like that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
maybe it was
yeah.
under
That's
resort,
right.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
at
yeah.
Disneyland Resort. Yes, I do recall that.
Fuck.
There was an alligator
Yeah.
attack.
I tell you, I bet they called every alligator in a 50-mile radius of the resort after that. It's funny, like as you said that about the secret staircases and stuff, a video popped up like this. One of the most every now and then I'll see like these like PSA videos pop up on Twitter and Instagram of like, keep your kids safe. It'll say something like this is what parents should do. And there's this one where it was like, why you like never let your kids go down a water slide unattended. And it was like, it showed like a hotel water slide. So like literally like 2 swirls into the pool. And then there's like a 12-year-old girl and this like grown man comes as like, excuse me, can I go down first? And she's like, okay. And so he goes down and then the slide attendant goes, all right, go ahead. And the girl goes, and then it just shows her going around the first corner, and the guy's just spidered in the slide. And he's like, ah! And I was like, there's one loop. You would in like 2 seconds, you'd be like, hey, How come she hasn't come down? You're like, the next person that goes down is gonna crash into all of them. Like, it's like, this is ludicrous.
Braden has managed many a water slide. So I mean,
dude, I know. Yeah.
So Braden's our
deal with any
resident water slide
fucking
specialist.
Pool pedos while you were there?
Oh no, I used to be the spider guy. No,
You were the pool
no,
pedo.
no. So, no, funny. Like, honestly, if you understand the trajectory of water slides, like, if you slow yourself down at a corner
down.
and you kind of like scooch down right at the corner, so when people ride up the side, you can spider on the inside of the corner.
What do you mean you have no money? Huh?
And
What
then
do you
just
expect
so
that?
as they come around the corner, you'd be like, ah, and like just scare them as they're like up on the edge. It makes for a funny laugh for everyone. I used to do that all the time growing up.
This video is just you.
PSA was about me.
Yeah.
Careful on the corners.
Somebody like reliving a story of Braden on that water slide. This
Thank
is
you.
a reenactment. Of
Shadow Ursi says,
events.
sent a nice little tip in. It said, my favorite band of weirdos.
Mm.
Yeah. What do we have? Anything? What else do we have? Anything else before we?
Let's say. Quick update on the Mexican alien corpses. Apparently,
yes, they're cake.
Jamie Mousen, the cake aliens. Jamie Mousen trotted out apparently a couple of researchers to speak on their DNA findings of the corpses. So according to these researchers who come from an unnamed university, I believe, and not really, they weren't really clear on their credentials as what they are, but they said that 30% of the specimen's DNA is unknown or not from any known species.
Interesting.
Which is
Because it's from paper mache.
Yeah. That's why.
Did they do the FDA analysis on that cake batter?
Saltless. Came back saltless.
Yeah.
I had a quick Grush hour.
It's confetti cake.
I had a quick Grush hour update too. I saw that Avi Loeb started to weigh in on Grush.
Oh, fantastic.
Avi Loeb was just like, basically said he's like, I think he's sincere, but like he doesn't know anything.
He believes it.
And he believes it, and he's sincere, but the people feeding him information maybe have ulterior motives. Holy shit, I've never seen a guy get piled on so quick. like people
I'd imagine he's used to it at this point.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
doesn't care. Avi Loeb's a absolute.
He's getting money for his.
He's like, I got tenure. I don't care. I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Like, there was a huge Twitter thing of being like, you don't know shit. You still don't even know what a muamua is, you idiot. People screaming at him. I was like, this is why I love X, and we can't let it die. This is the only time you can call a Harvard professor an idiot. And he
Big middle
may
finger to
see
you,
it.
Bob Iger. You won't stop us. Or you guys, I don't have X.
But we do have lots of cool stuff coming up at Alien Theorizing. We got a Brooklyn Bridge UFO. We have Cosmic Channels are back Thursday night, 6 p.m. We got right after this, we're recording Confidential, the CIA vampires. Little story about how the CIA, sent
Contracted Count Dracula.
Yeah, contracted Count Dracula and sent an army of asswanks to disrupt the Philippine government. So that's always interesting.
Sounds fucking dope.
Yeah, it's a wild one. Bandito, anything else before we got anything to plug, or what you want to say before we sign this one out?
The way you introduced me today, I wanted to come in saying, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I didn't get a chance. So, it's been good, but no, I don't have anything else. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bandito. And if you
That's awesome.
If you're on our Discord or our Patreon, the tier levels, you message Dan and we'll put you that, you know what? Hold on. I got some bone to pick. I messaged Dan and I was like, hey, do we have anyone lined up? And he goes, no, Bandito can't come on. She bailed. And I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, so it's just going to be me and you maybe? And I said, oh, yeah, that's fine. And he's like, should I quickly message anyone? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you shoot a message on Discord? Dan shoots a message on Discord. Not even half a second, you reply, yeah, I'll come on. I was like, Dan messaged me. He's like, what the hell?
Know.
What the hell's going on? Am I crazy here?
Why, you make me a liar.
No, I was gonna wait. It's December is crazy at the post office, and I thought I might be a little bit extra tired tonight because I got up at 3 a.m. this morning to go to work. But I got a nap in after work before my football game, so I figured since you didn't have anybody else, I'd jump on and
So
get my turn out of the way.
perfect.
Can we do it again though if we wanted to? If you don't get anybody,
Oh, of course.
you make it.
Yeah, you can put your name.
Appearance.
Put your name back on the list. So if you want your name on the list, message Dan on Patreon or on Discord. He'll run you through the steps. Pretty easy. Microphone.
It's easier on Discord. I get those messages right on my phone.
Microphone, camera. You got to bring one thing. That's it. Anything else before we go? No? All right. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies. Peace.